Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, we are gathered here today, child. This is my review recap, all right, for The Oval, Out of Line, Season 4, Episode 9. We got Kyle out here falling in love with damn Alan, okay? He like his style. He like where he's coming, where he getting turned on from the action of the car blowing up. And, of course, there's not a scratch in sight, child. Ain't no scratch, ain't no blood, ain't no bump. We just, you know what I'm saying, looking like our regular selves and giving compliments and arguing like we an old married couple, all right? And then we get to Donald. He's still on his foolishness and foolery, you know. Him and Daggone Lily don't got a scrape or a bump or a bruise or a blood either, child. They, you know, Lily complaining about being in pain, and she literally got one little gauze in the front and one little gauze in the back. Ain't no blood seeping through and nothing, child, okay? Your guess is as good as mine. Where the heck Barry is at. Barry over there on the game, and he can't be on the Oval right now. So we will probably not see him this season. He will probably be missing for the rest of the season as far as we know. You know, the vice president is still trying to play games with his daggone wife, and he trying to make his way over here to the Oval to make this quote-unquote apology that we all know is bullcrap. Let's go ahead and get into this daggone episode, y'all. So, of course, we started out this episode with Cal, you know, saying his leg was stuck and he, you know, he needs Alan. I hope Alan can't leave him there like that. And Alan is basically like, yeah, I can. He's like, you know, do you want to go to jail for killing a federal agent? And he's like, I wouldn't be killing the agent. You basically blew up in the car. We had an accident. But of course, he gets out in the nick of time, chase Alan down, you know, tackles him, and he's telling him, you're insane, you're crazy. And Alan is basically like, hell yeah, I'm insane. So I'm like, it's so hilarious hearing Cal call somebody else damn insane, right? Who the hell is more insane than him? And he starts to say that this is actually turning him on. He like, I didn't know you had it in you. Okay, you looking a little handsome to me. You sure you don't go that way? And Alan is basically like, hell no. Okay, you not my type. You not what I want. No, thank you. All right. And so he's like, well, now you done messed up the daggone car. You gonna have to pay for that. But he dying laughing. And Alan is like, what do you find is so freaking funny? And he's like, you know, I can't believe it. You actually surprised me a little bit. So he's like, well, now we gonna have to go ahead and walk since you messed up the daggone car. He was like, why would you do that? And so he basically, of course, was like, oh, you really thought I was trying to kill you. So, he, you know, at this point, Alan is like, look, let's get this over with. Let's get to Donald, you know. Cal want to talk about oh, you don't get to call him Donald. He's your boss. He's like, whatever. Can we just get to him? And we go into him. Let's go to him. Let's get this over with. All right. So they go walking to go to Donald House. I don't know how far Donald House is supposed to be from where this car flipped up over at, child. Must not have been that far. All right. So then he telling him, you know, walk in front of him talking about some, you know, I like to look at your backside and you look good walking away. Okay, good enough to eat. And so, you know, they go ahead to go to Donald House or whatever have you, right? And then, you know, we then have Hunter coming up to daggone Alonzo, whatever the heck his name is, child. And he's basically asking him, you know, did you snitch? Okay, was you talking to Victoria or Donald about me? I know you was with them. Alfonso plays it off and is like, no, sir. You know, I was standing outside the door the whole time. And he's like, well, how the heck did they find out about it? Her father basically was able to get, you know, the report. Now, here go Alonzo talking about, oh, I got people that's in, you know, the police that's undercover for me. And I contacted a source and they covered it up. And so Donald was like, really? He's like, yeah. Meanwhile, Victoria had already told him that her father's the one that be covering up for his shenanigans and that he was going to owe her father a whole bunch. But he tells Alonzo like, oh, well, I just wanted to see if I could trust you. He was like, whoever you got in the inside, they are not good, okay, because her father still was able to find out about everything. But he's like, since I could trust you, you know, be ready because I want to go out again And when Alonzo's asking him when, he's like, I'm going to let you know or whatever, right? But he did tell him the source is compromised, and that's how they found out. So he was like, just testing you or whatever, making sure that you're going to be loyal to me. And Alonzo's like, he is going to be loyal. So he was like, well, good, then you could go ahead and get me some more of that cocaine. Okay, by the morning, I need the cocoa. And so Alonzo is basically like, yes, sir, no problem. He was like, go to the same guy, get it from him, have it for me in the morning. So he says, okay. So he basically was like, good night, and go ahead to go to bed. I said, child, Hunter's still thinking about coke, okay? Now, in the meantime, we have basically Dell giving Karen a call or whatever, right? Because remember, he already wanted to give her a call from before, and Kareem said for him to wait till, he spoke to her, and he's just basically letting her know what happened with Alan. And she's like, oh no, they out to get him. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And of course, she puts him up to speed that supposedly all of this is over, and he's saying that he don't believe it. So then she's telling Dell to go home, and he's like, are you sure? I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, when she's saying home, she's meaning to go back to damn Kareem house. So she tells him to put Kareem on the phone. Now, mind you, that part had me cracking up, because Dell was sitting there still trying to look down at the phone and act like he texted him once he hung out with Sharon, and the phone started ringing, and she's calling Kareem or whatever, because he was like, no, I'm not going to put him on the phone from my phone. I think you should call him direct on his phone. So she like, okay, hang up. And then when his phone started ringing, he, Kareem just looking at Dell like, really? You know what I'm saying? So he go ahead and answer the phone, and he like, what's going on or whatever. And she's telling him like, are you at the house? He's like, no, obviously, I'm here at the pharmacy or whatever, right? No matter of fact, she said, are you at the store? And he was like, yeah, I'm still here working. He was like, how you know? And she said, Dell told me. So then Dell is looking like, hey, and waving and shit. And so she was like, well, are you going to be home soon? And he was like, why? Are you coming home? Like, mad excited. But she's telling him, no, let Dell go there and rest. So he was like, you're calling me about damn Dell? And she's like, yes, I am. So he was like, well, she's telling him, don't be an asshole about it or whatever. So he was like, well, she's talking about what Dell been through. And he was like, well, what about what I've been through? And she was like, could you please just let him go to the house? So he's like, yeah. He was like, and where are you? She was like, I'm at Nancy's, saying it with an attitude like, where else would I be? And then she's like, are you in his bed? He's basically right back to that. So she's like, I'm not going to answer that. She was like, just let him go and cool off or whatever. Tell him he could go. So he's like, fine. She's like, all right, bye. She was like, you so damn. And he was like, just say it. What? And she was like, nothing. And she hang up. And then when she hang up, she talking about some annoying ass shit. So Dell is basically looking again like, hi. And he's like, asking if it's okay that he go there. And he's telling him, yeah. So, of course, Dell is talking about his strength and numbers or whatever, and Sharon had called back his phone and was like, if he give you a hard time, let me know. You just take your behind to the house. And he's saying, are you sure? And she's like, yes. So he's like, okay. She telling him go now. In the meantime, while he's on the phone with Sharon, freaking Kareem is throwing whatever little freaking sponges that's there that, to wash up in the bath with that he got in his damn basket. He basically throwing those at damn Dell. I said, you know what? I can't with y'all like a big old kid. So she also was telling Dell to let her know once he get there, and, what I'm saying, and that he's safe and everything like that. And of course, if Kareem gives any shit, to let her know. And he's like, okay. So she go ahead, and hang up with him or whatever. And this is when Dell was just saying to him, like, are you sure you're going to be okay? You not coming with me? Kareem asking him, what, are you scared to go there by yourself? And he's saying that he's going to be there in a little bit. He's still going to stay for a little bit longer, because Dell was trying to say his strength in numbers or whatever, right? And so Kareem was like, you going to be straight. I'm coming soon or whatever, right? Well, actually, Dell said his power in numbers, and then Kareem corrected him that his strength in numbers. So nonetheless, he told him to go ahead and say he gonna be there in a little bit. He was like, it's all gonna be all right, and that he would be there soon. So, Dell go ahead back to his house or whatever. Then he gonna talk about some, I've been out for 2 days, so I still got bills to pay. I said, is that really y'all biggest worries right now? Because ain't nobody coming in that damn pharmacy anyway, but okay. So moving on from that, he was telling Dell to lock up behind him or whatever, and then he went walking off, right? So we basically had, I think it was Kyle come bringing in damn Allen or whatever. So I'm like, y'all got there real fast. Like I said, I don't know how close this damn car accident was to where Donald lived, because they sure enough, okay, was either walking extremely fast or caught a cab or something, child. I don't know, right? And we had what's his name, Dag? I'm forgetting these people named Jason. Gets over on his babysitter slash supposedly special agent, all right? He's there talking with him, and he's saying that he hungry, and he trying to beat the guy in the head. Oh, you got a gift. You make some of the best food. He was like, I done ate all over the world, so I know about stuff like that. And he's telling him that he's hungry and that he also wants medicine because he's in pain. So basically, when the guy gives him the 2 pills, he done sat his damn cup down there. Jason opens up the damn pills and put it inside his coffee or tea, whatever it was he was drinking. Okay, he didn't. He act like he was taking the pills, but he didn't. And in the meantime, the guy was telling him he have to warm up the stuff in the oven, that they don't have no microwaves up there. So every minute he like, oh, you doing such a good job, you doing great. And he was like, all right, you can stop beating me in the head and trying to give me all these different compliments. And when Jason was saying he done ate all over the world, so he know it's part of the perks of being, the president's son, he was like, yeah, I bet it is. And he was like, I bet you have it real good. And he was like, well, for some sons, not the ones that damn died. And so the guy was basically like, yeah, I can agree with that. So then he was asking Jason, like, why did you jump? And he was like, oh, I was trying to basically get out of this and get away or whatever, right? And he was like, and you felt like you had no other choice. He said he really wanted out. And so he was like, yeah, at that point, I did. He was like, I would have tried other ways, but I thought that would be the fastest, And so he was like, damn, it must have really been bad in the end. Jason is basically like, yeah, worse than you could ever imagine. And so in the meantime, he like, wow, whatever. And he says, my mother is pure evil. I could believe that she would want to kill me, but I do not think, my father, I don't think he would go along with that. He was like, she hates me and my sister. So he was like, but don't you, her mother and father pretty much, agree on all things or whatever and do things together? He was like, no, not really. Okay, so he was like, I could see, her with that. So the guy was basically telling him he's sorry. So when this breaking news was about to come up, he wanted to turn the TV off, but Jason is like, I'm watching that. So he turns it back on or whatever. And sure enough, they over here talking about him and how his funeral is supposed to be, today. And they're over here like, he was like, yeah, it's literally your funeral. And Jason is like, wait, what? And you hear them saying that they're at Arlington, cemetery, that people are mad because of the accusations he's facing. But the first family is mourning and they lost their son and all of this. So they was like, and now we go back to talking about the best shows. So he was like, are you for real right now? He was like, so they really think I'm dead? And he was like, yeah, they have to. He was like, wow. He was like, and just like that, the world just still continues. And the guy was saying this for his own safety. He was like, life just moves on. He was like, and then they start talking about damn dogs, 2 seconds later. So he was like, yeah, that's how it is, kid. And he was like, well, damn, nobody cares about me. So the guy's basically like, look, I ain't no therapist or nothing, right? And then he was like, well, I hear you. So basically he's like, well, what time do you usually fall asleep? And the guy's like, why? You going somewhere? He was like, hey, maybe. You never know. He was like, I'm just wondering. So he was like, well, that would be hard. One, you don't know where the hell you at. Okay, so you're going to have 2 problems. And the other is how the heck you going to get through me. But of course, we know that he done slipped the damn medication in the damn drink he drank. And I didn't understand how he didn't see how the damn drink tastes different if you sit there and pour some medication up in it. But okay, especially somebody that's supposed to be a specialized agent shit. Okay, because I'm just a normal person and I know damn well I'm going to be tasting something different in my damn cup. But nonetheless, he basically was like, well, how long is the food going to take? And still trying to, make small talk. And he was telling him it wasn't much longer. He was like, oh, why you don't have a microwave up here? And he was telling him microwaves will kill you. And he was like, oh, so you a damn conspiracy theorist? He like, nah, I'm not. So, basically they just kept going back and forth. And he was also telling him like, oh, you're not a bad looking guy. Jason was really trying to put it on thick. That's why I still didn't understand why he didn't know it was something going on, because obviously Jason ain't been talking with him all like that before. So in the meantime, when we getting back to Alan behind, Donald was coming downstairs or whatever, and he's asking Cal, can he leave? Cal tell him about the car flips and all of that stuff. And he's like, why did you do that? He was like, oh, you thought I was going to kill you or whatever. And he was like, well, Cal, that's why you don't want to leave, because you think he going to do something to me. He like, nah, he good. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to do nothing to me. He like, go ahead and step out for a minute. So Cal, go ahead and step out. And then Donald was saying to him, like, you want a drink? And he go and pour him a drink. Of course, he got to do the taste test on it, let him know that is nothing, poison in it or whatever, because he's drinking it too. And he like, well, sir, you basically was sitting grip to kill me or whatever. And he was like, oh, is that what you thought? He was like, oh, you don't know. Of course, they all gonna play these games now, right? So he go get the supposed confidential file with these pictures of Grip and Ellie laying in the bed that look so damn fake. But yeah, Alan is supposedly falling for this. He's looking like, what? He was like, yeah, they was having an affair. We found out about it. He's the one that basically killed her or had her killed. And then when he gets to the last picture, he like, oh, don't look at that. And basically it's Grip with a damn hole and supposed to be a bullet hole, okay? Talking about he kills himself. So Alan is like, are you kidding me? Are you for real? This can't be real. You can't be serious. He was like, I can't believe this. And Donald was talking about, yeah, I can't either, right? Nobody saw this coming. We are so shocked. But yeah, that's basically what all went down. He was mad that, she was with you. And when she found out about you, that's why he came, after you. And that's why he went after her and all this other stuff. So he basically ends up calling Cal back in after that. Well, actually, Alan had threw the freaking photos across the floor like he was supposed to be so upset about it. And he was like, oh, can you pick those, photos up, because my wife is already out of it, drugged up on pain pills and stuff. And I don't want her coming down here and seeing that. So he was like, can you pick all those up? And he's telling Alan, I'm so sorry for all the stuff that you went through. And then he over here talking about some, I love you. Do you love me? I said, so Cal love him. Donald love him. Everybody's loving everybody, all right? They about to be like, I love you. You love me. Okay, we're a happy family. And so Alan over here talking about some, yeah, I love you too, sir. I said, wait a minute. What the hell is going on here? Why we got to love each other because you my damn boss and I'm working for you? Like, we put it on a little thick here now, okay? But Alan went ahead and picked up the pictures and stuff, and that's when he was calling Cal back in and telling him, why don't you go ahead and give him a ride home, or have somebody give him a ride home, I should say. So they told one of the other agents to drive him home. Then Cal want to sit down, and he talking about, of course, why can't I take him out? And then going to tell Donald, I could do it, as if we don't know his crazy behind would want to do it. And he's like, nah, he's good. He's going to be okay now. And he's like, of course, I know that you would do it, right? And so then Cal want to talk about how much he missed Donald. And Donald was like, really, what I'm saying? I don't know if I miss you too yet or not, because I'm still wondering about you and that guy from the pharmacy. Of course, talking about Dell, are you missing him too? And he trying to scoot his little chair closer to Donald. Cal is like, if he want to be touching on him and stuff. And the minute he get closer to him, here come Lily coming down talking about stuff. Oh, hell no. Get out right now. Get your behind up out of here. And then he telling Cal, you got to go. You got to do what she say. Happy wife, happy life, and he just keep repeating that. She telling him he got to get the hell up out of there. Faster, faster, faster. Okay, you not moving fast enough. So then when she sit down, she's telling him, Donald, I'm in so much pain. I got to go to the doctor. He's like, no, you can't go. If you go to the hospital, they're going to be asking questions. This could turn into a domestic violence, situation. You already know that. She's like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, you got pain pills, girl. Go take some more of them damn pain pills and leave me the hell alone. I don't know. He like, drink some Sprite, drink some milk, drink something. He's telling her she could have a little bit of liquor. He poured a very little bit in a glass for her, and she drank that. Next thing you know, she picking up the whole bottle. Well, there wasn't much left in the bottle, to be honest. And she's chugging down the rest of that. Okay, chug a lug, chug a lug. And he like, oh, you just gonna take it all to the head, huh? And then he told her, go lay her behind down, that he gonna have a doctor come in the morning. All right. So we move on over to Nancy and you know, it's morning, they making breakfast and stuff, and Barry still have not shown up, child, and Barry ain't gonna show up, okay? Barry is missing. So Sharon is like, now I'm starting to get worried, like, what's going on? He still ain't come back, and, you know, Richard is telling them that this is not helping, and he say he gonna go ahead and call Sam. He's like, just go ahead and eat. Nancy give her this plate that she already got made up, child, look like it was some ham and eggs and biscuits up there, okay? And so she was telling Sharon that she don't think she could eat. And Sharon was like, at this point, I don't know if I can either. So, of course, Miss Nancy takes this time to talk to Sharon and was just basically saying to her, like, girl, you know, where could he be? She was like, do you think he could have possibly went back to Cali? And, you know, Miss Nancy was like, I don't think he would do that again. He already did that once. She was like, I think he knows better than that at this point. And she was like, well, he is mad, so we never know what he's doing when he mad. And Sharon was like, well, maybe I should go back to Kareem's. And she was like, well, why would you say that? She was like, because me being here might just be getting him even more upset, and that might be making it worse. And why he don't want to come back. And Miss Nancy's like, nah, I doubt that, honey. It ain't that. So basically, she was like, but if you do want to go back to Kareem's, just go. And she was like, yeah, I think it's for the best. Now, of course, Nancy gonna take this time out, child, to put her little bug in, you know, Sharon's ear, like, you know, did you think about the whole thing with the president, what they was telling you they want you to do? And she was like, with me setting him up, she like, oh, hell no, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to trap no daggone president. I ain't doing that. And she was like, well, Sharon, you could do it. She was like, no, Miss Nancy, I can't. Why would you say that I can? She was like, well, I'm saying. She was like, you straight? Okay, let's not act like you not. I think that you could really do it. She was like, Miss Bitchtopia, all right? So she's like, Miss Nancy. So she was like, girl, I'm just saying, just think about it. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and pressure you and tell you, you know what I'm saying, what to do, but you could really help them bring him down. And she was like, I know you could do it. And so, you know, Sharon just was like, Miss Nancy, look, I don't know about all that. And she was like, just think about it, okay? Just think about it. All right, child? So, you know, Sharon go ahead and sit down to go ahead and think about what Miss Nancy's saying to her. And Nancy just standing there looking. You know, we waiting for Richard to go ahead and make this call to daggone Sam to see what is going on with Barry. So now, you know, when we get over to, of course, Richard calling, you know, Sam, he in the kitchen with Miss Priscilla, child, okay? And, you know, he get the call and he's like, I'm going to see you at work. I'm going to find you when I get to work. Richard telling him he still ain't coming. She was like, wow, he still ain't come back. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. She was like, it's too much. You know, he said it's too much to be going on to be dealing with this bullshit. And she was like, yeah, you know, you right about that. So he was like, let's get out of here. So she talking about, you ain't gonna eat your breakfast. He like, wait, you made me breakfast? She was like, well, I made me breakfast, okay, but it's still some there. And you know what I mean? If you want to have some, you can. So he all moving up on her and smiling and shit. And she got her little fake smile on. And he like, thank you. And she like, She like, as a matter of fact, I put some in a container for you. Just in case you want to take it with you. And he like, oh, really? He like, I love you. She like, don't start. And he was like, no, for real. You know I do. And she was like, yeah, I hear you. But I see you. You know what I'm saying, Priscilla? You trying to hold it down. You trying to be hard. But I see that little smile on your face and look like you feeling some things, girl. Okay? So then we got the vice president and his wife. She coming downstairs, you know, trying to still have this attitude like she ain't going. She got on her damn nightgown and her freaking robe. And he's like, you're not dressed. And she was like, I told you I'm not going. He like, baby, no, you gotta go. She was like, look, I'm not going over there to sit in nobody's face. And he was like, yes, we have to because we were wrong. And she was like, no, why do I have to go in that one lying woman, you know, conniving woman face? And he was like, look, we made a mistake. We gotta fix it. She was like, nah, you can fix it by yourself. I'm good. She was like, I'm not trying to do that. She was like, let me get that, you know, this straight. I'm supposed to walk in the Oval Office, you know, pretending he and TTT in this lady face. And he was like, what I want you to do is walk in there and stand with me or whatever the case may be. So she was like, nah, I'm sorry, I can't do it. She was like, I don't want any parts of this. She said, you know how close we was to the daggone White House or whatever the case may be. And he was like, she was like, we were right there. So he was like, well, we are still that close, all right? It's just going to take us a little bit more time. It's just not now and not this way. So she's like, listen, he said, look, I know you don't want to do it, but we got to do it. He was like, please just go upstairs and get dressed. I don't want to be late. So she was like, he talking about, please do it for me. So she over here talking about some, okay, I guess, I'm saying, fine, the things I do for you. And he's like, thank you. And she go upstairs to go ahead and get dressed. But she was like, one thing she say out of line, I'm going to be on that ass. Okay. And he was like, I promise I will say something. So she go to get dressed, and Bobby and Max end up walking in not too far behind her, good morning, sir, and all that. And he's like, are we ready for today? Do we understand what's going on? Are we in agreement that when we go in there, we're going to all be in peace and be on the same page? And they're like, yeah. And then he's looking at Max, and he's like, you're sure, even when you see Cal? And he's like, yep, sir, even when we see Cal. Here go the VP talking about some, right now we don't have no evidence that's showing anything else, so we have to act accordingly to the information that we have. And they're like, of course, we understand. Absolutely, no problem. Yes, sir. And he's basically like, okay, so we gonna be ready to be out of here shortly or whatever. Let me go check on my wife and see how everything is going and push her along to hurry up and get dressed. He had told them he wished everything could have turned out different, and they was like, we all did, sir. He was like, but we gotta go with the facts. And they like, we got you, sir. That is correct. We understand. So as he going upstairs to go ahead and get his wife or whatever, and they telling him they clear, crystal clear. As soon as he hit the top of the steps, you got Bobby and Max is basically telling him like, not yet, wait. To me, they was still being too loud, child, because for all they know, he was still at the top of them damn stairs. I don't trust none of these people. But the minute he got upstairs, they like, here go Bobby. Oh, he really think we that damn stupid? He was like, ain't nobody falling for that. Who the hell do he think he is? He was like, he think I'm stupid or something. And then he telling Max, I'm sorry. He like, yeah, he probably think you stupid, because I'm sure it's all not stupid and ain't nobody falling for that bullshit or whatever, right? And so he's basically like, we got to be on top of this or whatever. We can't be playing no games, and basically they say we got to figure this out. And so they like, we will. And both of them say at the same time, from the inside out. And then they're like, exactly right. They like, hell yeah, rock and roll. And then when they go to do a pound, here go Max hurrying up and moving his damn hand, talking about some too slow. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm like, y'all downstairs making all this noise in the people house, really? So in the meantime, back at the cabin, Jason over here just a munching. I was a little confused at how it was all bright and daylight now, and I could have sworn it was night before, but we gonna ride along with it, And he's saying, yeah, this was really good and really enjoying it and all that stuff, just a smacking down on the food. So he was asking him how long he planned on having him there, and he's like, it depends. He was like, how long do you want to stay alive? And so he was like, you think my parents really want me dead like that? And he was like, you heard them for yourself. And you already just finished saying, your mother would do stuff. He was like, you don't believe them? So that's when he basically started saying, like, not my dad. He was like, my mom for sure, I know she don't give a damn about nothing, but my dad is a little different. And he was like, aren't they together on most opinions? He's like, nah, they really not. And so he's still chewing, eating. And he was like, but my mom for sure, I know would want me dead. Excuse me. He's like, it's not no question about that. So meanwhile, he's like, well, what's the plan? And so he says, I can't just sit here forever. Now we starting to see, Mr. Big Agent Man looking like he getting weary and dreary. Jason is asking him, are you okay? He was like, what's going on? Are you all right? And so he keeps asking Jason, what did you do? What did you do? And Jason is like, what do you mean? He was like, what did you do, Jason? What did you do? Basically, all of a sudden, he collapsed and he's damn comatose, okay? Out of nowhere, like, oh, you little shit. And then he just knocks the hell out, and then Jason starts like, David. I ain't know his name this whole time, so he started saying David. And then he all smiling. So it's like, well, what is your game plan, Jason? Where do you really think you going when it look like you in the middle of nowhere with a big-ass snowstorm outside and you ain't got no other damn clothes or nothing, child? But they gonna make it do what it do, whatever way they want to, y'all. That basically was the episode. Y'all put it in the comments, tell me what y'all thought about this, child. What y'all think the next move is going to be, how it's going to be when they all finally meet up at this White House and got to pretend that everything is daggone sunshine and roses and rainbows, okay? Put it in the comments. Let's discuss. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you are so inclined. Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. All right, y'all. Till next time. Toodaloo.